welcome to another edition of On the Spot Painting. I'm just going to try to give you a little closer look to our progress of the robot here and how it's turning out. Sorry, it's a little bit shaky. So again, we're going to be working on some more of the, probably to finish off the arm and the right here, the chest here area. So I'm looking forward to that. Alright, so let's begin. I have to get my materials here ready. I always like to have paper towels on hand. You could use paper towels or whatever you choose to use, but I use it to kind of wipe off the paint, you know, to get it to where we're going to look going for. All my paints and stuff are on the other side of the table. One side I use for, I've been using this to do my current projects, and then, you know, other one is for my recording. So, okay, okay. I'm looking forward to it, and thank you for joining me again. I'm excited. We're excited too, so I'm talking about like everybody watching, I suppose, seeing the progress, and thank you for any new subscribers. Welcome. And if you're just joining on to the channel, if you'd like to subscribe, I appreciate that. It's always encouraging to me when I see somebody subscribe to my channel. I just feel like I'm accomplishing something, or, you know, got their interest, somebody's interest in to what I'm doing here. So okay, there's still, I mean, you know, it's amazing how you still look at your work and you realize there's a lot more that needs to be done. Sometimes you think you're done until you really look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that needs to be done. And sometimes it's not a whole lot that you need to finish, but sometimes there is. I mean, sometimes there is a little bit more work involved. Like I said, I'm kind of going back and forth. I tend to do that so that it kind of helps me get a better perspective on what the painting is looking like. If I just stay on one section, I'm just, you know, you're just so focused on that, and you're almost kind of, you're not looking at everything else, and that's the thing. I guess that's that I try to, you kind of get I don't know, I get, because it's not a very big piece, so you're not really, it's not like you're doing a huge painting, a mural or something. And that I could see you definitely get lost with that, what you're doing there. If you're doing a mural, or there's just so much going on in a painting, you know. Or I love to do. I've done that in the past. It was one of my first paintings I did. It was in 7th, 8th grade. It wasn't really a painting, actually. I say a painting because it seems like everything's a painting to me, but it was a drawing. It was kind of a fun one. I came up with these cartoon characters, which I eventually may want to get out there, but they were dinosaurs, kind of alien. But anyway, I just had in the piece so much going on. I just enjoyed that one. It was kind of a... Yeah, it was just like I had, you know, there was so much going on involved in the painting or the drawing. It was just, I think I used, even back then, I mean, amazing how, honestly, I can't even think about how I even did it back then. I used color pencils, markers, you know, just, I pulled it off somehow, even at that age. So I figured out with what I had and what materials I had, I made it work. And I can't even figure it out now how I did it. So pretty happy with it back then, and it was pretty. It was actually more for myself than anything. I didn't really do any. I don't know if he really wanted us to do a project like that, or that was something that was part of it, or just a. I think it was just more of a free drawing kind of picture. It was like towards the end of the year. Um, yeah, so I just did this kind of a lot of different things going on with all my characters. The main character in the foreground, but then you had all these other little things going on in the in the picture. Again, I would like to finish this today, but it's amazing how things can come about. You really want to finish things, but let's see. And I'm adding a lot of paint, extra blue to fill in the color here to start getting this arm put into place. But it's really just a process of bringing in the colors together. I sometimes just take a little bit of water to there and just lightly go over it because it seems to bring out the color. You know, not too much. You don't want to take too much, but you want to just pull from some of the paint that you had. So there's no actually color on the brush. I'm just taking whatever is from there and I'm redefining. Sometimes that's a neat little way of doing it because sometimes when you add too much color or too much paint, you're it just seems so overloaded with the paint and color. I've done that before, where an artwork or one of these robots are just have so much paint in there, or really caked on the paint, I guess. And that's not really a good thing to do with watercolor, is you really don't want to. You might be used to it in acrylics or oils or something like that, or other kind of paints, but you can't. You can. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying you may not be advised to do that because you're going to find some trouble later on. So less is more, and sort of with watercolor. But if you have the most, I'm sorry, I'm shaking the table again. But if you have the most, I think this table should be a little more stable than it's been in the past. I was able to add a little more weight to where the table was. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I was talking about like adding too much paint to the painting. Yeah, less is more. That's what I found for myself with the paints. Like I said, when you have more pigment, that's it. The more pigment, the more expensive colors. Yeah, I just overheard. I was watching a TV show with an artist, and he's no longer on there, and I don't really want to mention names, but I'm just saying he was on there and he was talking about how using uh, watercolor with more pigment, and I just took that and go, okay. I just buy the more expensive kind. And ever since then, I've just had so much more success, and I felt like I just literally did not have to go and buy paint as much. And a lot of times I buy the straight red, just as red as this is red, blue. I try to make sure it's all blue and then yellow. And you can make almost. I mean, there is some colors I have to really go out and get, like the turquoise, some purple, the magenta, some of the purple tones or the blue tones, but I can make orange. I can make, the darker colors brown. I make my own brown. I make my own, where they have the darker values. I add my own. I was using Payne's Gray before to get a darker tone, but then that was pretty dark, so then I just decided to make my own. Because, I was going out and buying these Payne's Gray, and it's getting a little costly, so. Then I realized I kind of make something similar. So when you really have the dark tones, or the dark shadows, you can really, just use to make the colors, you just blend it, so. It's just something you kind of learn as you progress. Kind of keep an eye on the time here. Sorry that this is stretched out so long. I mean, these different videos, and I'm kind of wondering if people are just thinking it's the same video over and over again. But they're definitely progressing, and you're just, I mean, otherwise they would literally have probably an hour video, which some of you guys may not mind. I just, for the sake of everything, I just think maybe 20 minutes at least, at the most. I mean, would probably be the only what I'm trying to do, my goal, or maybe a little shorter than that. So again, it is a process, just figuring out. You see, I'm bringing in the blues here. See, there's nothing here originally. It's just paper, right? So you're bringing in that tones to make it look like the color of the robot, the metal, the sheen, the texture, the details. So you're really adding, or I am adding, or I'm just saying like if you are painting, you are the one creating this environment or this texture detail. So you're really creating something out of nothing. I was kind of over at a crafts art store, and they had some some models, like ship models or tanks and stuff. And I was, I don't have a lot of money to sit there and spend on that, but I was just like, man, that's awesome. But then I kind of thought back at it. I'm going, well, I don't need it because I have this. I have my robots here, my paintings. It's kind of like a model, I think first of all and foremost, you should paint for yourself. I mean, if you're painting for somebody else, that's good, not bad. It's not a bad thing. But first and foremost, you should paint to make yourself happy. I mean, that's what you're doing. Like, wow, you created that. That's the sense of, no one else may know. You may feel like you want to blow a trumpet, or like you just want to shout out and say, wow, look at that. no one else is really, really going to know, but you're going to know that you did that. You accomplished that. You accomplished something that you couldn't do before. And those are those little triumphs that you have in your painting that no one else really sees, and maybe no one else really knows. But you know, and that's what's important. You know you accomplished that. You know you did. You drew that train. You drew that tree. You drew that mountain. You drew that whatever it is you decided to draw. You drew that car. That's one of my goals. I would love to draw cars. What I'm doing here, and I see, like, I'm just saying, it's very, very careful. It's almost like a very yeah. What I'm doing is I'm bringing a little bit of orange around the head, so it pops it out a little bit, and I have to be careful because it's blending with the blues, and it's slightly, and I don't really use masking. I tried, and I have nothing against masking. I really applaud any artists that do, and I just had so much bad experiences with masking. I don't know why. I just could not figure it out. I feel like I'm really going to try to figure out. I'm going to watch, whatever I can take. But for the moment, I'm just happy not using the masking at the moment. I'm just not. I just felt like it wasn't something that I was comfortable doing. Feel like I kind of went through some brushes that I didn't have to use up, so. Okay, my goal is here, at least before I'm done with the painting, I'm going to try to work on this arm. So, all the little details that could take time. It's a little time consuming. Like my hand just went on the paper here. It's wet. So try to be cautious of how you're doing that. I do tend to. I know a lot of you. I'm not used to not touching the paper, but actually doing these videos, I'm kind of trying to do that more because I don't want to shake the table. And actually, that's a really good thing to do because you're not touching the paper or accidentally smearing what you want worked on. So, and how easily you could smear over something you just worked on. You're just like, oh no. You're kind of more upset at yourself than anything. So, all right. I'm trying to bring in here the arm. Like I said, we're not. I might bring in the arm here, but like I said, I'm such to the far end of the paper where it kind of cuts off to where I don't know if I'm going to focus that much on that arm. It's going to be there, but it's not going to be. It's this arm right here that's in the. Yeah, that's another thing about when you're drawing something. Try to. I didn't maybe put that into consideration. I didn't know how far I was going to go into the painting. I just sort of drew this for this drawing, and I thought maybe I'd just do the head, and I didn't think it would branch out to the body, but I just felt like it needed to go to the arm and stuff and the chest, so because otherwise I would have probably been done or really close to done. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to give a sense of, I don't know if you've seen like the steps, not really steps, but just like one piece of metal here, another one overlapping here. So when you're looking at the piece, when you're looking at this robot, you're going to know that there's the metal part goes here, and then there's this sort of goes down, and here, and then it goes down again. And it's sort of like there's this almost like three-dimensional stuff going on. So that's what I'm trying to pull off. I don't know. Hopefully it pulls off, but it does over time. And that's where the little I'm almost drawing this for you, the viewers watching, so that you guys can know what I'm doing. Because normally I probably wouldn't emphasize these right now, because that'll come in time. But I want to show you. Otherwise, it's just going to look like I'm not doing anything different than last time. So, I'm just showing you where I'm going to go with it. Like I said, I just hate to take this so many different series so long. But if you really truly are watching and you're following through this, you may really enjoy this. This is the progress of painting. So, like I said, this could take hours and days. I could speed it up. I could do time lapse or something for you, but I feel like you're going to lose a lot of that, what I was doing. I have nothing against time lapse. I think that's a great option, because that's why artists do it, because they can't go into every detail. But that's what I'm choosing to do in these videos or not. If you people choose to follow and watch it. So we're going to be calling it quits on this one. I just really would love to sit there and go into every detail to go further along in this piece, but we're actually at the 20-minute mark. So I just want to thank you for joining me today, and hopefully you can see the progression of it's going. Just thank you again. So thank you for being patient with my painting here and talking, and I appreciate you joining me today, and I just hope that you have a good day. Thank you.